Next part of the brain, area called the insula, insular cortex. Take any mammal out there and give it some rotten, disgusting, spoiled food to bite into, and as soon as it does, the insula activates, and that triggers all these reflexes. Animal gags, it spits it out, its stomach heaves, it throws up whatever. The insula keeps you from poisoning yourself with toxic food. That's great. So you get some like college freshman who volunteers for this and goes into a brain scanner and bites into some rancid, fetid food, and same deal, insula activates. But now instead, don't have the person eat something disgusting. Have them just think about it. Think about those little legs pushing against your lips as you try to, and you're going to activate your insular cortex. In most mammals, it does gustatory disgust, and us, it also does thoughts about gustatory disgust. But then something even more interesting. Don't give the person something disgusting to eat. Don't make them think about something disgusting to eat. Make them think about something else that's disgusting. Make them think about something that is morally disgusting. And the insula activates. In humans, this part of the brain also mediates moral disgust. And presumably 40, 50,000 years ago, when we came up with the notion of norm violations that could be so extreme that it winds up being appalling, they had a meeting, they said, we can't invent a new part of the brain. Once that insula does disgusting foods, disgusting behavior, I don't know, sounds similar, expand it in there, give me some duct tape, and now suddenly your insula also does moral disgust. That's why if something is sufficiently morally disgusting, we feel sick to our stomachs. It leaves a bad taste in our mouth. We feel queasy. Now this is great because this certainly gives a lot of visceral force to things that we find to be morally appalling. But there's a problem with this, which of course is that one person's morally disgusting behavior is somebody else's perfectly normal, loving lifestyle. In other words, moral disgust is a moving target. And the trouble with the visceral force of moral disgust is it just begs you to use it as a litmus test to decide, how do I figure out what's right and wrong in the world? Well, if it seems so different from what I normally do that I'm feeling a little queasy, it's wrong, wrong, wrong. And this wisdom of repugnance is a way of making some very bad moral choices. Okay, so what we see with the insula, most mammals, it's about sensory disgust. In us instead, it's about moral disgust, which is intensely context dependent. And what we see there is the insula is central to us deciding that just because something is so different that it's hitting all sorts of visceral alarms, that there's something that's got to be, I can't tell you why, but when they do that, it's just simply wrong. And the first place in the brain the insula screams that news to next is the amygdala.